Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
With a continued passion for public television, we are proud to underwrite Steppin Out.
Please join us in supporting WYES television.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hello, Peg.
And we're so thrilled she's back. Sarah Jane McMahon, soprano and director of sacred music for St. Louis Cathedral. Hey. Hi. And you've got 3 concerts coming up around town, and we'll also have an opportunity to hear her sing a little bit later. Good to see you, dear.
You too.
Hello. And also with us, of course, Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Hello.
Hello.
Alan. Hi. Poppy, I understand you have a festive lunch suggestion.
Oh, there is so much festivities I'm going to tell you about today. So throughout the month of December, they're having what they're calling Festive Fridays at Miss River at the Four Seasons. And what this means is all through Friday lunch, there'll be live jazz music, there's decorations, and they'll be serving up some seasonal favorites like a West Bank Irish, which is Vietnamese-style coffee with condensed milk, but it also has Jameson and Kahlua, you know, reminiscent of some other coffee drinks. And then another surprise on Fridays, the Friday Holiday Fund continues at GW Finn's. And they're opening up on December 9th and the 16th for lunch on those Fridays with lots of festive cocktails that you can have at lunch or dinner, like the Christmas cookie we saw before. That's a drink called Snoop Noggy Nog. And then there's also an apple cider margarita. And what I didn't know they do there is that they have packages of their biscuit mix. You know, there's nothing yummier than their biscuits. And so it's a great $10 stocking stuffer that you can pick up anytime at the restaurant now at GW Finn's. And then for some more unusual holiday fun, you can head over to the Virgin Hotel. Of course, this is their very first Christmas season, and you can enjoy a very tiki holiday there. So that's upstairs at the pool club on the 13th floor. That was the Birds of a Feather cocktail. There's also something called tan lines in winter. I don't know, maybe the shark gets you before the tan lines. I don't know. Miracle on Barone is another cocktail they're serving, but you know, sometimes it's chilly up on the roof. They have fluffy, Christmassy sort of robes that you can don while you're having all those festivities. And then, of course, it's important for everybody to remember it is Réveillon time, and that means lunches, dinners, and brunches at almost 40 different establishments all across the local area. The best deal I could find is brunch at Antoine's for $40. Who would think that would be the bargain meal this year? But it is. And then dinner there is also just $68 for the 4 courses. Go to holiday.neworleans.com to find all the menus and all the fun.
Thank you so much, Poppy. And before we visit with Sarah Jane to discuss her upcoming concert schedule, here she is performing O Holy Night with the Lyrica Baroque Ensemble.
For
Sarah Jane, is the word wow appropriate? I hope so. How beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And the Winterreise concert of Lyrica Baroque will take place Thursday, December 15th at 7 p.m. at Christ Church Cathedral. That's right there on St. Charles Avenue. Tickets are available through eventbrite.com. But you also have yet 2 other concerts. Well, let's talk about the one. So you have sort of a relatively new job, okay?
Yes.
In that on a weekly basis, you can be found at St. Louis Cathedral, but not just to sing. Tell us about that.
Correct. I've now been in the director of music position for a whole year. So I made the year mark. And I just am so delighted with how it's going and how it has gone. We now have a choir of almost 25 people for Sunday. And for our Christmas concert, which will be December 18th at 5:30, we'll have about 30 people.
Wow.
And so it's just really been very
so
providential.
You're conducting. I mean, I see this photo.
Yes, I'm conducting. I'm directing the whole thing. I've prepared the choir. I also am singing in the
concert.
You are singing
too?
Just one piece.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful collection of Christmas carols that we're performing, arranged for choir and orchestration. We'll also have an orchestra of 22. And we'll also have a narrator who's going to interweave the carols with narration about the story of Jesus' birth. So it's for families. Please bring children. I mean, it's for everyone.
Free, and
it's free. It's open to the public. It'll be under an hour, and then after that leads into caroling in the square.
Well, y'all, I have to tell you, 2 weeks ago, I'm in Norfolk right before Thanksgiving, visiting family, and I'm listening to the NPR station while I'm putting my makeup on a Saturday morning, and all of a sudden I hear, now this is Norfolk, okay, Virginia, of course, and you know, on December the 3rd, soprano Sarah Jane McMahon will be performing in Williamsburg.
That's so true. I just returned straight off of a plane almost. Yeah.
So I mean, you're still, I know you're very much based here, but you still are on occasion traveling.
Very grateful that I still have my solo career. I'm still traveling, performing, being a soloist with symphonies, which is, you know, it was just a dream and such a pleasure. And the Williamsburg Symphony was just phenomenal. Yeah, I really enjoyed that this weekend.
I was so excited, and of course I emailed you immediately after I was finished putting on my face.
Yeah, I loved it. We did 4 Christmas concerts. It was very well attended, and just a great symphony and a great company.
Yeah, well, congratulations on all that you're doing. My goodness. And over to Mr. Allen.
Well, we have 3 reviews, so I'm going to go quickly. The final week now is approaching for JPAS, Jefferson Performing Arts Society's premiere of Irving Berlin's Holiday Inn. It's at the JPAC on Airline Drive. It's directed by Leslie Castet. The production stars Richard Arnold as Jim Handy, who grows tired of show business and seeks a quiet stay in a Connecticut farm to retire to. In the original 1942 film, of course, Holiday Inn, that part was played by Bing Crosby. Comic relief is portrayed right there by Tracy Collins in the role of Louise, who manages to steal practically every scene she's in. She's the caretaker of the farm that becomes Holiday Inn, a place where the performers gather during the holidays. And also starring as the last descendant of the farm is Chloe Velote as Linda Mason, who becomes Jim's love interest. Now, also on the bill is Alcee Jones. We remember him as Usnavi in The Heights. He returns to the JPAC stage as the Hoofer Ted Hanover, the part originally played by Fred Astaire. And Alcee gets to tap and dance with most of the female components of the ensemble. He's really great. The relationship between Jim and Linda is the key to the musical, as Jim's girls always get stolen away by Ted. And there's some big splashy numbers like Easter Parade with outstanding choreography by Kenneth Beck, brilliant orchestrations by Michael Paternostro, under the baton, of course, of the maestro Dennis Asaf. It really makes this regional premiere even more special. With music by the master himself, Irving Berlin, this is a tour de force musical with some of his best works, including White Christmas, Blue Skies. You'd be so easy to dance with, Heatwave, and Shaking the Blues Away. A great show. Irving Berlin's Holiday Inn finishes its run this weekend at JPAC. Now, for the latest offering from the NOLA project, we have to journey back to 2015 and enter the weird world of Craig's List. This is a new play by Shorey Bohannon called Craig's Listed. It's originally presented as a reading a few years ago by the NOLA project. Now they're making it a full production. And basically, it's the seamy underbelly of the internet where people go to sell things and sometimes renting things that maybe are a little bit more on the strange side. Personal services through the personals. Aria Jackson Jackson leads this talented cast as Maggie. She's a student forced to exhort to Craigslist because she just can't make ends meet. She meets some very nice people like Dave, played by Robert Mitchell there. She also has to deal with some very borderline dangerous people like Bobby, played by Megan Whittle, who wants to play footsie with her. We'll go about that later. Even more sadistic people like Gary, played by Keith Clavery, who has Maggie posing but not talking. Along the way, she meets some really bizarre people like Ned, played by Ross Brill, who is a furry. You think of these as people who sometimes costume as animals, and they basically want to have a place to have their furries gather. This is a thought-provoking piece by Bohannon. He, basically, I will say, she kind of makes the point that students on scholarship are really at a loss to provide what they need to make the necessary income to be able to sustain themselves, and this is just really a shame. Craigslist continues at Marquette Theater through December the 17th. Meanwhile, Ricky Graham and Hannah Rochelle got together not too long ago and came up with the concept behind the latest vehicle for the Victory Bells. This is called Louisiana Christmas Day, and the bells involved are Hannah, Skyland, and Kiara. The show has 22, count them, 22 holiday songs with favorites like There's No Place for the Holidays and I'll Be Home for Christmas, but along with also some Cajun flavors like Jambalaya and Papa Noel and the theme song Louisiana Christmas Day. There's also several local references to the holiday with a nod to Mr. Bingle, thank you, Ricky, Shopping on Canal Street, and the song Christmas in New Orleans. And as I mentioned, there's lots of traditional Christmas favorites sung in three-part harmony by the bells, A Holly Jolly Christmas, Blue Christmas, and Jingle Bells. There's also a shout out to Andrew Higgins. You know, there they are, the women workers behind the war effort with a special version of the 12 Days of Christmas, and all three bells do a wonderful job of telling the story with humor, singing and dancing their way through the show. They even provide a little bit of mistletoe to make your holidays even brighter. Beautiful new costumes are featured as well. You're also bound to love the little Ricky Graham touches in the script that's written by and directed by him. And speaking of Ricky Graham, if you missed Broadway New Orleans style last month, you'll have another 2 chances to see it the next 2 Sundays at 6 p.m. Ricky Jefferson Turner, Jesse Terrebonne Thompson, and Ashley Smetherman Lemler at Rivertown Theaters. The shows on both Sundays are at 6 p.m. And don't forget that Dane Rhodes stars as Macbeth, and Andrea Watson is Lady Macbeth in the Fat Squirrel production at the Fortress of Lushington. They're sold out for tomorrow night, and go check it out. There are only a few more days that this will be on the boards. And finally, the NOLA Project is holding a fundraiser at the NOLA Brewing Company on Sunday evening. They're trying to raise $20,000 of donations before the end of the year. Please consider going and taking part in this, what they call their Cab Beer A. So there you go. They have a wreath made out of beer cans. I love it.
That's hysterical. Okay, thank you very much, Anna. And now time to kick off our picks of the week. Congratulations, though, to the parishioners of St. John the Baptist Catholic Church, who last weekend celebrated the 150th anniversary of their beautiful church building on O.C. Haley Boulevard, known as the Church with the Gold Steeple. A note of thanks to the Ciravolo family and to Frank Maselli, there they are, who have done so much to keep the beautiful church alive and preserve its history. The stained glass alone is amazing. And of course, this Saturday, one of its traditions will continue with the 95th annual Mass honoring St. Lucy of Syracuse, the patron saint of eye diseases. And Syracuse, we're talking about in Sicily. A special Mass will be celebrated Saturday at 4 p.m. And a reminder that the church has 2 regular Masses, one on Saturday at 4 p.m. and the other Sunday at 9 a.m. Father Randy Rue is the chaplain. And the Friends of Lafitte Greenway present Supernova, beginning next Thursday with lights, arts market, music, and food, located at the corner of Norman C. Francis Parkway. It's the 500 block on the south. And the Bayou St. John, I should say north. Okay, but anyway, Bayou St. John, it's by the old brake tag station. Right. Okay, go to LafitteGreenway.org for details. BK House, across from the Ursuline Convent on Charter Streets, presents 2 events this weekend, a doll tea party. That's at 10 a.m. Saturday for children and adults, and you can bring your own dolls with holiday, but they have some too, with holiday crafts. And then on Sunday, a concert featuring the amazing singer Anaïs St. John and pianist Harry Marone at 6 p.m. That'll be great. Go to bkhouse.org for ticket info. The annual pub crawl, Running of the Santas, takes place this Saturday, starting out at Manning's. Go to runningofthesantas.com for info and tickets. A portion of the proceeds goes to charity. And the Crew Delusion is having its first ever fundraiser, first Saturday Arts Market at Cajun's Pub on St. Claude Avenue. And then the next day, a costume pub crawl that begins at St. Roch Tavern and goes up and down St. Claude Avenue. Go to eventbrite.com for all details. And now your picks, Miss Poppy.
It's a big weekend for Poppy this weekend. Saturday, I will be at View Orleans. If you haven't been, Saturday's the day to come out. I'll be signing books from 1 till 3 p.m. right there in the little cafe, the Story Cafe. And then on Sunday, it's time for Poppy's Pop-Up Christmas Drag Brunch. And it's going to be a very Whitney Houston Christmas. And it's going to be so much fun. And there's a few seats available, so rush to the phone and make the reservation.
Okay, thank you. Sarah Jane.
Well, tomorrow night you can catch me at Divine Mercy Catholic Church in Kenner. I'm going to be part of their Christmas Spectacular, is what they're calling it. It should be a very nice event for family and friends.
And also you have your Christmas CD out,
I do. Night of Silence. It has all your favorite Christmas carols, hopefully, on it.
So SarahJaneMcMahon.com.
SarahJaneMcMahon.com,
All
yes.
right, great. And Alan.
Well, from the sublime to the ridiculous, Broadway's Lauren Molina and Nick Searley sing in their underwear, and they're known as the Skivvies. They released their first holiday album. There it is, Slay My Name. It's going to be on CD at Le Petit over the course of 2 nights there at Le Petit Theater. Making this a special time are the following guests, and I'll make it rhyme. There's Kathleen Monteleon, Kimberly Kay, Brian Batt, and Arsene DeLay. So I'll be gone next week, but back in 2. The theater is where I'll see you.
Very good, sir. Very good. All right. And I have yet more picks. Photographer Mary Lou Uttermolen opens her exhibit on New Orleans' homeless on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. at the Building Gallery. It's a very interesting building at the intersection of Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard and Martin Luther King Boulevard. Very, very poignant. The Symphony Chorus of New Orleans will perform The Messiah this Sunday at 2 p.m. at gorgeous St. Mary's Assumption Church right there in Josephine and the Irish Channel. Tickets at symphonychorus.org or at the door. This Sunday in Harvey, the West Bank Regional Library presents carols, cookies, cocoa, and mocktails, featuring harpist Patrice Fisher and Southern Food and Beverage Museum founder Liz Williams, making mocktails. Also, cocoa and cookies will be on hand. This Sunday, Phil Malonza and his gang are back. I love this graphic here. With their Christmas cabaret, they all asked for Yule. Quite a touch of satire. And don't you love that title? I love that. Anyway, and our very own Alfred Richard, okay, also known as Richard, December 11th and 18th at 7 p.m. at the Monkey Hill Bar. And actually, there's a theater space behind it because that space used to be a restaurant. But Alfred's back, and he's going to be singing and having a lot of fun going on. Also, I have to show you a little show and tell. This is one of this year's Millon Faget's adornments, and it is actually an oyster, as you could tell. It's a poil in an oyster shell. So we've got all that too. But yes, I think there, post-COVID, there is such a fervor. There is so much going on right now. There are those holiday, wonderful holiday concerts at the Cathedral, but also the ones, holiday New Orleans style, those that are being put on as well. Huh?
Absolutely. Every day, I believe every day until Christmas, we have a concert at the Cathedral with just different musicians from all over the city.
Yeah, I think the Shades of Praise performed.
Yes.
And they've been doing that for a long time.
It's
the Cathedral's
nice.
been very open to doing that.
And it
too.
always ends with the Cathedral Choir concert and then the caroling in the square.
Yeah.
Which is so nice.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Poppy, just real quick, in terms of holiday food and cooking, any suggestions for somebody starting to plan their Christmas meal?
Well, my #1 suggestion is you can go to Martin's Wine Cellar and Dorignacs, and you can get the frozen base of Warren LaRuth's oyster artichoke soup.
Ooh.
And his grandson Jacques is making it. It's called LaRuth's Fine Food. And yum! Imagine having that on your Christmas table. You just add some oysters, you got the base. He invented oyster artichoke soup. Of course, he called it Potage LaRuth. But isn't that incredible to think about?
It is, and just like, is it Green Goddess dressing?
Yes, he invented
also
that.
invented that too.
And
Most people don't
Peggy,
realize that.
nobody had a fried soft-shell crab topped with lumped crab meat on the menu until Warren did that at LaRue's.
Wow.
It's just crazy, all the things he did that we just take for granted as something that's part of our canon.
And
of
thank
our
you for
cuisine.
reminding us. Okay. Well, thank you all so very much. And now, though, please take a minute to show your support for Steppin' Out by becoming a member of WYES. Here's much more on that.
Hi, I'm Marcia Kavanaugh, WYES Community Projects producer and host of Informed Sources, which comes to you every Friday night on WYES. But I'm here now to ask you to take a moment to tell us how much you value and appreciate Steppin' Out and the local and national arts programming on WYES. We know that many of you have been Steppin' Out regulars for years, and if so, or even if you're a new viewer, this is your chance to show your support by becoming a WYES member or renewing your membership. When you do that, by calling the number on your screen, 504-486-7311, or by going online to WYES.org, you are stepping up to ensure that great local programming always has a home here on WYES. That includes not just Steppin' Out, but also Informed Sources and Wall Street Wrap-Up on Friday nights, plus our award-winning local documentaries and cooking shows from Chef Kevin Belton and other talented chefs. There's something for everyone on WYES, and if you value our local programs like Steppin' Out, then this is the time for you to show your support by becoming a member. Now here's more from a regular guest on Steppin' Out, movie critic Alfred Richard.
WYES is your station for the arts, and no one covers the local art scene like Steppin' Out. From films to food, theater, music, books, and the performing arts, for nearly 40 years, Peggy Scott Laborde and Steppin' Out have covered them all. Show your applause by becoming a WYES member today. Programs like Steppin' Out, great performances, American Masters, music specials, and documentaries can only happen with your support. Become a member or renew your membership today. Thank you.
If you join right now at the $60 level or above, either a one-time annual gift or just $5 a month, you'll receive access to WYES Passport. That's our online member benefit, which provides you with extended access to an on-demand library of current and past seasons of PBS shows, including drama, science, history, and the arts, which you can watch anytime on any device. And don't forget, all members at $40 and above receive a year's subscription to New Orleans Magazine, and inside of which is Dial 12, the WYES Program in Events Guide. Those are just some of the ways we can say thank you, but the real gift is what you are giving to our community by making programs like Steppin' Out happen every week, both here on air, on WYES.org, and on our YouTube channel, available 24/7. Let's hear more now from the host and producer of Steppin' Out, Peggy Scott Laborde.
Hi, I'm Peggy Scott Laborde. If you've become a WYES member tonight, thank you. And if not, I hope that you'll consider calling in or going online to show us how much you enjoy and appreciate Steppin' Out. I am proud to say that there is nothing like Steppin' Out on New Orleans television. And for nearly 40 years, we have been the place to turn to for news about our local arts and entertainment scenes. We can only do that with the support of our members and underwriters who support Steppin' Out by stepping up with their financial support. Please consider becoming a member right now, and thanks.
We couldn't do what we do here at WYES without the support of viewers like you from all across Southeast Louisiana, from 15 local parishes, as well as on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It's your membership dollars that help keep the programs that you value and enjoy airing here on WYES. You're watching Steppin' Out because you appreciate the way Peggy and her team bring you coverage of the local arts and entertainment scene. It's a kind of show that only WYES can bring you, and you make that possible when you call the number on your screen or go online to WYES.org. Thank you.
Steppin' Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
With a continued passion for public television, we are proud to underwrite Steppin' Out.
Please join us in supporting WYES television.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.